What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot, Rico. It's Rico and Bot on the Buffalo Fanatics post-game show following the final game of the 2025 regular season, the final home game in the regular season at Ralph Wilson Stadium, and it was a beatdown of epic proportions. Bills starters or not, we had a feeling the Bills would have the upper hand on the Jets. It was an absolute embarrassment on the part of the New York Jets. The Buffalo Bills 35, the New York Jets 8. The Bills finished the 2025 regular season campaign with a 12-5 record led by Mitch Trubisky, who had a day, as did Ray Davis, who didn't have a day for these Buffalo Bills. This game's over, and we are already moving on to the postseason, Rico, where the stage is set. The matchup we've been waiting to have solidified is etched in stone. The Bills, the 6th seed, on the road in the wild card round, taking on the 3 seed Jacksonville Jaguars. Rico, talk to me, baby. It is officially set and ready to go.
It is officially set for upset season, right? They're looking at the red hot Jacksonville Jaguars. You got my man Trevor Lawrence getting the grill put in after the game. He looking nice. He looking clean. So it is the job of the Buffalo Bills, the team that some folks, I'm not saying all, some folks are kind of saying, hey, man, it might not be the year for the Bills. There's a lot of pressure on these Bills, man. How are they going to be able to do it? This is their path to doing it. Well, we got to prove these people that this is the path. And if it's the hardest path, if it's a narrow path, that's the path we're going to take against a red-hot Jacksonville Jaguars team. Who better to get this thing kicked off against the Jacksonville Jaguars and go on the road and snatch that victory from these boys? Because right now, the league is looking at Jacksonville's way. So I'd love to see what the lines are going to look like into the week. But here we are. You want
to know the line? Is that what you're talking about?
They already got it? Golly.
Oh, I was on that like white on rice. And Rico,
oh boy,
the Buffalo Bills open as a 1.5-point road favorite against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the wild card round. Initially, right off the bat, I knew this was going to happen. Frankly, I don't think the Bills would have opened as a dog against anybody. I just don't think they would, because they're always they're a betting darling. They always have been with Allen. Maybe they would have been a slight dog to the Pats if it went that way. I don't know. Your thoughts on initially, mind you said throughout the week it could change. I wouldn't be shocked if it did, but Liam Cohen and company already have the bulletin board material. You're already opening up as a dog, Jacksonville. How are you feeling about the Bills?
I absolutely hate it. I hate that Vegas gave us the you made me wait for it. They're -1.5 favorite. Are you kidding me? No, I want nothing to do with that. I was hoping that they say the red hot Jacksonville Jaguars, they're favored by 4.5. I would have loved that. I would have loved it. Now the Bills have something to, but now you know what? You got to self-motivate. At this point, forget about the lines. I mean, not that these players worry about the lines and all that stuff. They just go out and play ball. But it would have been nice to have a little bit of an edge. Now you just gave that to Jacksonville. Golly. But you know what? I'm excited. That means there's still life. They still got some love for Buffalo out in these streets. The Vegas, they tend to know some things. So they might feel real good about this. To me, this is a toss-em. -1 on the road, bro. You're just saying, I don't know who's got this. I'll give the edge to Josh Allen. What are your thoughts? You see a line like that? Does that piss you off, or is it more like, man, I don't care about that?
So here's how I see it. It opened up at -1.5. This was on one of the books. We'll see what the other books end up showing. But that line was -105, meaning it's barely hanging on.
Right.
I would not be stunned if this line flips within the next several hours to couple days. But I also wouldn't be shocked if that line grows. I think people might look at this and think, I got Josh Allen in potentially sunny weather against a team that has proven nothing in terms of their playoff prowess. A first-year head coach in his first playoff game, Trevor Lawrence, has nothing under his belt in terms of playoff success. I could see the betting public saying, Give me Josh Allen, that number growing. On the other end, though, you nailed it. Who's hotter right now than Jacksonville? They are the hottest team in football, them and the Houston Texans. They deserve to be favored in this game, in my opinion. It's at home. They had the better season, arguably. They've been playing the better football over the last 2 months. So at the end of the day, betting lines be damned. I do view it like how you mentioned it. This feels like a coin flip type game. I'd be stunned if one team gets worked by the other. I'd be stunned if any team worked any other team really in this entire playoff picture. Speaking of which, the stage is essentially set. We have one spot remaining to be filled. We will find out who gets that spot on Sunday Night Football this evening. The winner of the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Here is what your playoff picture will look like, folks, starting next week. The New England Patriots will host the LA Chargers in the wild card round. The Jacksonville Jaguars will host our Buffalo Bills in the wild card round. The Houston Texans will host the winner of tonight's matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the NFC side of things, the Chicago Bears lock in the 2 seed. They will host they will host the Green Bay Packers. So a division rivalry renewed in the wild card round there. That's awesome. How about this one? The Eagles will host the San Francisco 49ers.
How about that?
Good in the wild card round. And then I got to tell you, I think the Rams kind of made out like a bandit here. They're going on the road to the Carolina Panthers. I mean, who in their right mind? The Panthers already beat the Rams once earlier in the year. You think they're beating them twice? I sincerely doubt it. So that is your playoff picture right now, folks. We're here. We're one game away from the regular season being completely done. I can't believe it. And look, I think Jacksonville, that felt, Rico, like it was inevitable. I know earlier in the day we were kind of on pins and needles. Are the Colts going to be able to pull this off? When that became clear that wasn't going to happen, the Patriots were not going to lose to the Quinn Ewers-led Miami Dolphins. And, you know, just there wasn't going to be this landslide of things that happened in order for the Bills to end up playing New England in the wild card round there. So here we are. It's set. Before we dive into that, because that's the most important thing here, give me your thoughts on what we just witnessed. The final game at the Ralph. Yep. I was so glad that the broadcast took a minute to really allow that to soak in at the end. They did a great job, CBS did, of really allowing the moment to kind of be transcended through the television screen. It was so great. The Bills dominated. And Rico, I know you aren't the biggest fan of the alternate helmets and the alternate uniforms, but my God, did that red helmet and red sock uniform look elite out there today to send off the Ralph.
I will say I was not a fan of the red helmets. Not that I wasn't a fan. I didn't care for the red helmets, but those things look clean. They look actually clean to the point where I'm like, you know what? If we do end up bringing them back, because I'm sure social media has been a buzz, and I'm sure Buffalo Bills PR and the equipment staff is like, okay, we might be onto something, folks. If they do bring these things back, if it's just a home game thing, I'm good with that. Just bring them back more often, because those things look absolutely great. They look fantastic. I gotta give it to them. They look good. So they've won me over on it. Now, do I care if they don't bring them back? No. But if they did, I'd be like, you know what? Great job, because it looks sharp. It looks sharp. I don't blame you one little bit. They look good. Those are one of those little situations where you're like, you know what? I'd like to see a little of that more often.
You're like, you know what? Just a combo. That bot guy, he knows a thing or two. That looks pretty good.
You know, it's the red helmet and the red socks that kind of hit. That combo. Oh. Chef's kiss.
The socks brought it home. Like the perfect contrast between the top and the bottom there to really kind of sandwich between. I thought it looked mint. And Rico, you know who looked mint in it? Your boy Mitch Trubisky. Your boy Ray Davis. Mitch Trubisky. He finishes the day, Rico, 22 of 29, 259, 4 touchdowns. I will say, though, he tried his hardest to give the Jets their lone interception of the season. We talked about it, and they just couldn't help themselves. They dropped it every single time.
It just wasn't. It wasn't in the cards. It wasn't in the cards for the Jets. The Jets they were meant to look how they looked. I mean, you saw their quarterback. Their quarterback, I don't even think completed 12 passes today. It wasn't in the cards for them to do anything positive today. But I will say this: Mitch Trubisky kind of gave me reason to watch this game. I loved how much he was distributing the football, giving guys chances. Dawson Knox getting the incentive, needing only 7 yards to gain $100,000, another $100,000 for a touchdown. Hits it with one pass into the end zone. Gotta love the distribution coming from our guy Mitch Trubisky. What did you like? Did anything stand out to you this game that you were like, you know what? As bad as this game was looking, I was still entertained by what, though? What were you entertained by?
There was a lot that stood out. The New York Jets ought to be embarrassed, and I feel awful for their fan base, and I'm not exaggerating either. I genuinely, I admire and commend diehard New York Jets fans showing up for this team each and every week, because you deserve better. As a diehard football fan myself, as we all are, listen, we don't like the Jets. We don't like the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Dolphins. I get that. Nobody deserves this. That is a living hell. From a competitive standpoint, I don't think it gets worse. That team was just outscored in the month of December, worse than any team has ever been outscored in the history of the NFL. The worst point differential in a month of football in the history of the NFL, and they followed that right into January with this game, where the Bills were not even trying. Folks, that was the Bills' B team there, and how easy was it? They were in the red zone every time you looked. It's why you were like, Ty Johnson doesn't get his incentive, but he's going to get another chance. That had me watching the whole game. When they said Ty Johnson had $250,000 on the line and they didn't give him one handoff, dude, I about vomited. I'm like, I'm mad at this team right now. I am mad at this organization. You don't give my man at least a chance at the $250,000, Rico. So what do? They get the ball back. They get right back to in front of the goal line. They give him the ball 4 times. He can't get in. He can't get in. I'm sitting there. I'm like, it's not like Ty Johnson's making $40 million a year. So I'm like, dude, come on. I want this guy to get his bag, right? Then they finally get him the passing touchdown at the end. And I felt so relieved. I felt so good for that guy because he had so many chances. You mentioned Dawson Knox with that $200,000 touchdown grab, which was great. And how about Ray Davis? Go ahead, my man. Have an afternoon. His first 100-yard game as a Buffalo Bill. 21 carries for 151 yards. I've loved Ray Davis in the backup role. I've also loved Ty Johnson in the third down role. We have a very stout running back room. Was so glad that those two guys got to send off their season on a high note there. Ray Davis shows you that he has the ability to be as solid of a running back, too, as we have known him to be up until now. Was stoked to see Ty Johnson get his money there. But really, Rico, like from a Bills fan perspective, how could you not just sit back and watch this and just be like, man, thank God I'm not rooting for the other side. Right.
I quite enjoyed it. I loved it. Listen, I've been poo-pooing and giving a hard time to Gabe Davis. I loved seeing what Gabe Davis was able to do on the field today. He does look like he still needs to get up and get going. But, I mean, listen, you can't deny his ability to catch the football and do what he did. And you got to give credit to that. Loved what the distribution, like I said, from Mitch Trubisky. Here's what I did love. I love the fact that the football was still being run. And we ran for over 200 yards. The O-line was still capable of finding their assignments and getting down and sealing in blocks. And the running backs were just running amok in the Jets. Like you said, it's embarrassing to put that display. The amount of times they panned over to Coach Aaron Glenn, he was doing the old Kevin Hart, like, oh boy, it's just terrible. Yeah, it was one of those nights. It was one of those days. But kudos to the Bills. I mean, they look good defensively. Buffalo Joe Andreessen was absolutely just everywhere. Like, listen,
he should have had a fumble, by the way. They blew that dead. That was a strip fumble right in front of the goal line. I was pissed.
Come on. Talk to me. So defense, solid outing. I mean, obviously, you're going up against who's the quarterback again? Who cares, right? Brady Cook, and a bunch of nobodies that may not even be on the team next year. Rough going for head coach Aaron Glenn. He's got an opportunity next year to kind of clean this up. But if he can't, and he gives that same nonsense he gave this year, bro, you won 2 years, you're out of here. But Bills, it was the talk of the town was the Bills farewell season. You couldn't have done it any better, blowing out the Jets, divisional rival, and just sending people off with a smile on their face. However, should we?
Yeah, we got it. Listen, I think it's. You and I can sit here and wax poetically about Mitch Trubisky and Ray Davis all day. We can, but let's talk about it. What about Buffalo Bills fans, folks? Did you think we were going to get out of this one with it all being roses and sunshine? Because it just never seems to be that way. And unfortunately, what was a great send-off for the Ralph finished with a bit of sour grapes as Maxwell Hairston goes down with what seemed to be a non-contact injury. From what I'm reading from Thigh Doc, he can't quite tell what the exact injury is, whether it's an ankle or something else. But from what I'm reading from Thigh Doc, he's thinking that this upcoming week against the Jags is going to be a no-go for Max Hairston. And then that wasn't the only one. Matt Prater, who's been nursing that injury for the last month, misses the last 2 games, re-aggravates the injury again. As of right now, the Buffalo Bills do not have a field goal kicker going into the playoffs, where that could literally be the difference between the next round and going home. So right now you lose your star first-round corner late in the fourth quarter when you're up by 30-plus points, and then you lose your kicker. The Bills don't have another. They already released Badgley. So, Rico, for what was an awesome afternoon, beating down the Jets and sending off the Ralph on a high note, it really left a sour taste in your mouth watching Prater be announced that he was out, and then, of course, watching Maxwell Hairston go down, limping to the locker room with about half the quarter left.
It doesn't make me feel good. So this is what the injury, for those that are wondering, are like, hey, what took place? So if you're paying attention to Max Hairston here, so look at the angle. So I'm going to try to show you as best I can here. So if you're looking at Max Hairston here, hold on a second here. Close this out of the way. So if you're looking at Max Hairston, if you're seeing, you see that? I'm not sure if you're able to see that, Bot.
What are you looking at, the right or left leg?
I'm looking. See that one that's pinned back? I don't know. You're going to see it come back a few more times. Do you see that there?
Yeah.
So it's not good right there. This one right here, and then it's still pinned back, and then now you're leaned back. So it's tough to tell. That's what it looks like, because he goes to grab that same leg when he comes back around. So this leg right here, if you see my pointer here, so he's extended, gets caught into the turf a little bit. So he's dragging this one. This is not the one. This one right here.
It's slipped
stuck in the turf right there. Knee down right there, and then it kind of tweaks a little bit, and that's awkward to go down. So that's what it's looking like. And then he immediately grabs that right leg. So
now this is, I believe this is Thigh Doc's tweet you have up. If you want
this is Thigh Doc. This is all Thigh Doc right here. So now listen, don't take this as gospel. Do not take this as gospel. This is just speculation as to like what happened. This is, he went off after this play. So this is what you're looking at, folks. So not ideal for your first round draft pick, fourth quarter, near the tail end of the game. And most folks are saying, why is he in the game? Well, folks, who else did you want in the game? Right? Chris Brentford can't be in the game. Trey White is essentially the starter. He's been the one starting with a bit of a heavy rotation with Max Hairston in the game as well. Those are your 3 corners, right? Darnell Savage is a safety. Hancock is a nickel. Once Taron Johnson goes out, Hancock takes over for nickel. So at this point, what would have been nice if we had Ingram on the squad, but we already know what took place with that. We moved on from Ingram to take Darius Slay. Darius Slay said no. So here we are. So one would wonder if you get back on the phone and say, hey, Darius Slay, we still have the rights to you. You coming through or what? What are we doing here? But that's a whole different ball game. Who knows how that takes place? But it just blows. It's such a big blow going into the playoffs against a very athletic team, a very good team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, that will air the ball out. And they've got some athletes on that field. Brian Thomas Jr., one that we tried to potentially look into, because they were like, we're not sure if we're going to do anything with him. He seems to have picked things up. Now you got Jacoby Myers on that squad. So they got themselves a crew. So it would have been great for us to be healthy to now go up and match up well against them. And that's just a big blow to this defense. Now, you mentioned earlier, Prater. Your thoughts on Prater? Us having to now go back out there and look for a kicker. How big of a blow is this to this offense?
Oh, it's a massive blow. And just to elaborate once more on Hairston there, because I want to just share what Thigh Doc saying. Once again, like you said, Rico, this isn't gospel. This is just Thigh Doc's initial interpretation of what he's seeing here. Thigh Doc says that he believes it's either right ankle or lower leg injury. He believes if it was pre-tackle, it could be a perineal strain. If it was during the tackle, could be a mild ankle strain. Didoc notes that it's a bit of an odd one, but Didoc was asked on a timetable. He believes 2 to 4 weeks. The sooner he comes back, the worse he'll look. He does believe if it's a mild injury that we could see him back in the divisional as a backup. And he was also asked if he thinks he'll play next week. And Didoc says it doesn't look promising. And I think you watch that. Anytime you see a non-contact injury, I think you immediately think, at the minimum, that guy's probably not going to be good to go the next week. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll monitor it. But
absolutely. I mean, how could you not think that? I mean, you see a last quarter, and an ankle at that as a cornerback. I mean, like we said, maybe he walks off and it was just like, woof, we dodged a bullet, but maybe not. So somebody asked, how ready is Bass? Bass is on the IR, brother. He ain't coming back. So we're in trouble.
So then there's obviously that whole thing there. You're going to need to bring in Younghoe Koo. I think that there's probably nobody else to go after but Younghoe Koo at this point. You've already cut Badgley. Didoc made it seem like Matt Prater's done. I mean, he's 41 years old. You're now talking the second re-aggravation of an injury here. Even if he is good to go, or even if you do send him out there, do you trust a 41-year-old off of now 2 injuries to win you the game? I mean, probably not. So right. I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably done. I'm seeing the Justin Tucker name thrown in the chat. I mean, the Bills are not probably going to go down that PR nightmare there. I just do not anticipate the Bills going that avenue. I mean, do they? Is it a possibility? Sure. Is it a massive PR debacle? Absolutely. Do I think that they do that? Probably not. I think Younghoe Koo is probably where you look. The former Atlanta Falcons kicker. He's with the Jets recently. I think that's probably where you go. Regardless, here you don't feel great. Matt Prater was awesome before he got injured. This is the thing you don't think about. I've seen people tweet already, well, field goals aren't going to win you football games in the playoffs. Yeah, well, no, they definitely could, though. I mean, they certainly could. You know, they could have won you the game last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they didn't have one, right? They didn't have a guy they could rely on. So, you know, seeing the chats roll in here, you know, Younghoe, bad, he's not good. Like, listen, he's better than me and Rico, and that's basically what you're down to now. So, like, you're going to have to go with one of these guys that are sitting around hoping to have an opportunity. He could be a Buffalo legend if he wants to be. You know, you bring him in, and he could go on a warpath in the postseason. I don't know. But Rico, yeah, I mean, in all honesty, it's the injury that I think maybe, like, at least you have depth at corner. Maybe nothing you're writing home about, but at least you have guys. You don't have any depth at kicker. Like, so you're now looking at a situation where you're going into single elimination football and you do not have a guy to kick the ball.
It is tough, man. And here's what makes the matters worse is you're going into a game against a team that's got one of the best kickers in the game. Cam Little just hit a 67-yard field goal today, just today. So that's what Billsy way would for the Bills to go out is on a 69-yard field goal. We get to stop, and Cam Little comes in and does exactly what they need him to do because they got themselves a kicker. So we're in a position where I'm hoping that Brandon Beane is on the phone and he's finding the right fit, a guy that's kicked before, a guy that's got experience under his table, and that's got the experience in tough games where you needed to come through and the clutch genes, you got it. How many kickers are out there that you got? I mean, we brought in Badgley for crying out loud, lasted 2 weeks and we got rid of him. So this injury doesn't come at a great time. And here's the thing. Didoc and I were talking about this on the injury report on Wednesday. Although he said he could return, this is not the ideal time for him to return. He's only 3 weeks in. This is an injury that you got to take at least a month off, and he's coming in a week early. This could be one of those things where he re-aggravates his leg. What happens? Re-aggravates his leg. So, not good. Not good, folks. Not good. But you know what? We're going to find out. Listen, if Pat McAfee is ready to come back and make some things happen, I'm sure he'd pick up the phone. I'm sure he'd pick up the phone. So we'll just have to wait and see what Brandon Beane's got up his sleeve to see what he's got going for us. But right now, two big blows to this day. This day would have been perfect if we got away, people getting paid, nobody got injured, and we now can prepare to go on the road to Jacksonville. But here we are talking about not having a kicker which is huge. And obviously losing our first round draft pick to a second injury this year. So that's tough. Very tough position to be in.
Very tough indeed. The position Josh Allen was in this afternoon was one that I thought was interesting because I did think they were going to give him an opportunity to continue that 40-plus touchdown streak, Rico, and they did not. They went with the vintage Josh Allen takes the first snap of the game and runs off. Yeah, so Josh Allen will finish the regular season with 39 total touchdowns. His streak of 5 consecutive seasons with 40-plus comes to an end with 1 touchdown shy. He only plays 1 snap to keep his start streak alive. James Cook, on the other hand, he only gets a couple of carries himself. We noted on the pregame, Jonathan Taylor did not do much of anything for the Colts, so James Cook had the lead on him going into this game without him even needing to play. However, Derrick Henry is about to suit up on his birthday against the Pittsburgh Steelers for the AFC North crown. They did give James Cook 2 carries, Rico, for 15 yards. So as it stands right now, Derrick Henry would need 153 yards tonight to win the rushing title. Anything
absolutely
beneath that,
doable.
And James Cook is your rushing title, Rico. And Rico, your rushing title winner. And Rico, I agree with you. I would have given him a couple more carries. I don't think that's enough of a cushion. He was averaging, dude, he had 15 yards on 2 carries. I probably would have given him 2 or 3 more. Because you know what? They were noting on the broadcast how much it meant, right? They talked about Deion Dawkins getting a call from him, right, Rico? Like, I got to give McDermott credit, though. He said we are not risking this. I didn't know if they were going to do that or not, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you this. You gave him 2 carries. What's another 2 more? What's another 3? I mean, and now it's like you have this it's bagged up. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not bagged up. Derrick Henry can go off for 300 yards today. This Pittsburgh Steelers is one of those teams that's up or down. Listen, man, if Jimbo doesn't get it, be pissed off going into the playoffs. If he doesn't get the rushing record, be pissed off going into the playoffs and make it your business to rush all over every team and right to the Super Bowl. So if he doesn't get it, not the end of the world. But I'll tell you right now, you better be so mad. You better be so mad that you rush for 200 yards going into Jacksonville. I love that.
We'll see if it happens. I think he's going to get it. But I do think Derrick Henry's going to make us sweat it a little bit. I think he's going to have James Cook pacing around his living room tonight a little bit, but I think he's going to end up finishing with it. All right, Rico. The stage is set here. Let's talk about initial thoughts here in the AFC. We have our playoff picture solidified. Yes, we will know the exact team in the 4 spot by the night's end. But you're looking at it right now. It is the New England Patriots taking on. And if you want to pull up on your side, just go to NFL playoff picture. It's on the NFL website, Rico. So we'll be able to just.
I got it teed up. Just give me a second.
Yeah, you got it.
That's like a teed up.
I want to get initial thoughts from everybody in the chat, though, on what they think the bracket looks like, how it fell, and how they're predicting wild card weekend goes down, because we do have some intriguing matchups here. I do think if Baltimore is to win tonight, which I think they do, that Texans-Baltimore game is a wild one. Chargers Patriots.
Oh, they don't have it up just yet.
More interesting than meets the eye. It's like it's back one. It'll show it in a list form. Whatever. We already know the teams anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the Chargers in New England. Yeah. You got Houston in the winner of this game coming up here. You got Buffalo, Jacksonville. I think if Baltimore beats Pittsburgh, that to me is probably the marquee matchup. Potentially. But I also do think if Pittsburgh wins, Bills-Jags seems like the game of the AFC, in my opinion. Obviously, that solidifies the 1 seed. How do you feel about this slate? Do you think it's going to be chalk? Or, I mean, are you anticipating maybe the Chargers got a chance against New England? And I'll say this. They got a chance at the minimum. I mean, New England shouldn't guaranteed to walk against anybody here. A Harbaugh-led team, a week of rest for Herbert there. That game could be interesting, Rico.
This is the thing about the NFL this year specifically that's been pretty cool is there's been a lot of parity. Like, you just never know. The teams that you thought would win against this team, you're like, what? How did the Panthers beat the Rams? Are you kidding me? How did this? So you just never know. And especially with the playoffs, Harbaugh coming up with a vast experience. And listen, let's go back to this. You got a an experienced head coach going up against another experienced head coach in Vrabel. But are the lights going to be too bright for Drake May? Too bright? I mean, you got guys that are going through some legal issues right now. So is the vibe bright? I mean, you saw them just absolutely dismantle the Patriots today, the Dolphins today. But anybody can get got, right? But I think you might be onto something. Seed number 6 and seed number 3 might be the game that everybody's going to be paying attention to see what's going on. More so for the reason that they want to see the Jaguars take down the big bad Bills. I think it's more so. God.
Derrick Henry first play from scrimmage, a 60-yard rush. James Cook is absolutely sorry to cut you off, Rico, but oh my God. The first snap of the game.
Of course he goes out. You can't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can't trust them. So there you have it. James Cook is probably looking at Sean McDermott. They're probably sitting right there right now next to each other watching the game. And he's going to be looking at him the whole time.
He's side-eyeing McDermott right now.
He's side-eyeing like a mother effer. Are you kidding me?
There is a flag. Personal foul. Blindside block on the offense. Bring it back, James Cook.
Oh, God. So, yeah, getting into this game, listen, Texans, Pittsburgh, or Ravens, nobody cares about that game. It's the Bills, Jaguars, and I feel that this is going to be one of those things where they're going to be looking at it and saying,
Baltimore, Houston,
the Bills to go down. Golly.
You don't think Baltimore-Houston is an interesting matchup?
Do you think so? I don't look at it that way.
I do. I definitely do.
Baltimore, Texas. I mean, listen, if you're going to look at the Baltimore Tech, look, nothing, Pittsburgh and any other team, nobody's trying to see that. So Baltimore's a team that you're trying to see.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, but I mean, I feel like because the Bills are such a story. I mean, listen, you don't have Pat Mahomes. That's the big thing that they were saying. You don't got Joe Burrow. That's the big thing. I mean, Joe Burrow hasn't been in the playoffs forever. So I don't know why they keep mentioning that, brother. And Baltimore's on the verge potentially of going in or out. So Josh Allen is the big marquee quarterback. So they're looking for the big marquee quarterback, obviously, to face adversity. And what big TV would that be? Right, Josh going up against Lawrence and he overcomes. They want that. That's a big storyline. But they're also waiting for that guy to go down and say, whoa, maybe Trevor Lawrence is that guy. Who knows, bro? I mean, listen, it's going to be tough nonetheless. Nonetheless, it's going to be tough.
I am nervous as all hell. I'll just say this. Now that
he brings the 60-yarder right off the rip. Pittsburgh, wake up, man. Wake up.
I take back what I said. I think James Cook might be screwed because I think they're going to pound him. I think they're just going to pound this rock.
150 yards is nothing to Derek. It's nothing to this guy. This guy can get him in 4 carries. Done. He's that guy. He's just that guy. He's a Hall of Famer. Come on now.
So
he's looking great.
Initial nerve level, 10 being I'm going to pee my pants, 1 being we're going to beat him by 100. Where are you at now that it is officially Jacksonville? You don't even have to consider any other options. How do you view that matchup here? I know.
You know what? I'll let you jump in on it. I'm not sure yet.
Right?
Jump in on that one.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. You mentioned it with Hairston's injury. I'm interested to see. Parker Washington got hurt for them earlier in the game. They've been peppering targets at that guy. Obviously you have Brian Thomas Jr. You have Jacoby Myers that they acquired at the trade deadline. Parker Washington has been their guy. Bretton Strange at tight end, sneaky good. Travis Etienne, 1,000-yard year this year.
Yep.
And Trevor Lawrence has been playing really solid ball. They also have a good pass rush. I think they are a very well-rounded team. Now, I look forward to spending the week here. We're giving you our initial gut reaction to this being the Bills matchup. I look forward to spending the week here really watching some more of them and looking into what I think could be advantages and disadvantages for Buffalo. But my initial read on them, I think they're incredibly underrated, and I think Liam Cohen, the first-year head coach, is going to use that to their advantage. He should get Coach of the Year votes. Completely has turned around this organization. They had a chance at the 1 seed this afternoon. That's a team that I think going into the year no one really cared about. And I think that right now, because of how you viewed them going into the year and really historically just how you viewed Jacksonville, I don't think that they're a team anybody really gives an overwhelming amount of respect to. I think that they're going into this playoff underrated with a chip on their shoulder. You're already seeing it. They're predicted to lose to Buffalo based on the betting market at home. I mean, that's just one more thing to add to it. I think that they are a very well-rounded team. They can pass, they can run, they have a solid defense, they have solid weapons all around. Can they force Trevor Lawrence into making mistakes? And can they have Trevor Lawrence get into a vibe where the lights are a bit too bright for him? That's where I think the Bills could find themselves in an advantage here. But this is a good football team. And my initial read here is, my confidence level is about at a coin flip like we talked earlier. Would not be stunned if the Bills win. Would not be stunned at all if they lost.
Let me tell you this. This is something that we need to know. So we already know that the Bills are the number one rushing team in the league. Do you know who the number one rushing defense is? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is that
right? Jacksonville Jaguars are number 5 in 3.9 yards a pop. Right? Defensively, defending the run. They are 21.9. The teams are running on these guys 21 times a game. Okay. That's ranked number 1. Opponent rush yards per game, 86 yards per game. Okay. Opponent rush defense, TDs, they're allowing less than a touchdown a game. That's ranked number 7 in the league in rushing defense. So number 1 rushing offense going against the number 1 rushing defense. Now that is if you want to talk about marquee matchup, what's the run defense going to do up against this Bills run offense? Let's keep it going further. They're great at defending the run, not so great at defending the pass. Now, this is where Josh can kind of do his thing. Right now, these boys are allowing 224 yards a game per pass. That's ranked number 22. They're ranked 32nd in allowing. These teams are passing 64% of the time on these guys. And so Travis Hunter not being, he's still on IR, from what I understand. So we've got an opportunity to throw the football in these boys. We shall see. They're middle of the pack, but not great. But defensively, stopping the run, they got something special. And then on offense, they're not middle of the pack. They're better than the average, right? So right now they're scoring 27 points a game. That's got top 10. Their yards per game, 338. That's just outside top 10. They're at 14th. They are scoring 60% in red zone. They're 11th, and they're scoring 3 touchdowns a game, which has them as the number 5 offense. So they're decent. They're a balanced team. They run the ball decent as well. Nothing great, not to the level of the Buffalo Bills. So this is a huge game coming up against these Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're about to find out, can this team really run that football? Are they going to sell out to run the football, or do we need our receivers to step their game up? Because we can have them. They can be had in the pass game. Who steps up? That's what it's going to come down to. We got to run that football. But if we can't, boy, Josh Allen's going to have to be he's going to do what he's got to do. Break that glass and do what you got to do. But hopefully under control. We'll see. By
the way, the Ravens take an early 7-0 lead. Could not have been easier against that Steelers D, so they get ever closer.
Steelers are something else, man. That's one team that really annoys me. They annoy me because you have moments where you're in a game where you had no business being in a game and you win, and then you do this. Your life is on the line, and you're letting these guys just shred you like that? Come on, man. Oh, these Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. I'll tell you.
It's the same thing every year.
Every year.
Jacksonville's a really good team. And now you mentioned the number 1 run D against the number 1 rush offense. The problem I have with the defense of Jacksonville not being particularly great against the pass is if the Bills can't run it, then they don't have a pass game. The Bills' pass game is predicated on being able to establish the run. If you're able to take away the run, they don't have the skill set in the pass game currently to simply rely on that and that alone. This was one of my biggest concerns going into the postseason. If the Bills enter a spot in which they need to throw the ball exclusively or almost exclusively to win, they are in trouble. Those are the games they have lost all year long because they haven't been able to score in those games in which they haven't been able to run the ball. So I'm wondering if over this 2-month stretch here where Jacksonville has won 9 of 10, their most impressive win is a rout over Denver. If you also look at the rest of their games within that, though, it is not the most glowing resume. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying Buffalo will be one of the better opponents they'll have played in the last 2 months over that stretch. But regardless of who you're playing against, that team has been humming on all cylinders for the most part. I think Trevor Lawrence is playing some of the best ball of his career. And they just have the ability to do a little bit of everything, Rico, right? They do have the receiver set in order to pass the game or in order to pass the ball efficiently. ETN, another 1,000-yard year. I think he poses a threat. They have a tight end that's better than average. And then they have a defense that you just mentioned is obviously far above average, especially when it comes to going up against the Bills' 100%. Number one point of emphasis, and that's running the ball. This team's going to need to come into this game, Buffalo that is, with a unique game plan. You cannot go into this one expecting to pound it with James Cook 25 times and win. Just, that type of game that they had against Pittsburgh where you ran the same play 30 times over. You can't expect to do that against a team like Jacksonville with a run defense in which they possess. So I'm interested to see what the approach is, how they attack this game. Because I do think, Rico, if you can get past Jacksonville, not to say Jacksonville is the juggernaut that you got to beat to unlock all the other levels, but I think if you beat Jacksonville, I don't see why the Bills can't go all the way. Because I think if you can beat that team that I think might be the most well-rounded, to be honest with you, of all the AFC teams, as crazy as that might sound, I do think that might be the case. I do think if you can get past them, then I like the Bills' chances to go on in the divisional and the championship round. This game, to me, I think this is really this is the ticket. This is the ticket to me.
I don't want to say it's the ticket just yet, because when you're mentioning that they beat some good teams, but not great teams. In a way, you said that, but I'm looking at who they did beat. Listen, they beat some tough opponents. So in their stretch to their 8-game win streak, they've taken down the Broncos. They've taken down the Colts when the Colts were doing decent things. They've taken down the Chargers. They've taken down also the Chiefs earlier in that year, and they took down the 49ers early in the year. Now, early in the year, the 49ers were dealing with some injuries here and there, but nonetheless, the 49ers are still a well-coached team, and they took those boys down. So they've got some good wins under their belt. Now, have they faced a quarterback like Josh? Now, that's
look at when they did. Go tell me what the score of that Rams game was.
Okay. That Rams game that they lost against the Rams, 35-7.
That's the best team they played all year, and they got absolutely smoked.
Yeah, 35-7 they lost.
Listen, the Bills are not the Rams. I'll just say that.
But for sure.
They're closer to I would say the Bills are closer to the Rams than they are some of the bottom feeders, right? I mean, I think that goes without saying. I'm nervous, everybody, if you couldn't tell. I am very nervous. I think this is a good football team. I do. I really do think Jacksonville is not a great matchup for Buffalo. I got to look into this more throughout the week, watch some more Jags ball to see what I like. And I know, listen, I don't want to be glazing them. Listen, Dog 26, I was wishing to God that the Bills beat Philly and then Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers had beaten Cleveland, and then I would have came on here and glazed the hell out of Buffalo. I mean, I would have came on here and said, Pittsburgh might as well, but they might as well get their flights booked for the following weekend.
No kidding. By the way, it seems as though Raheem Morris fired. Ouch. I thought they were going to give him another year.
If that team would have just beaten the lowly Jets earlier in the year, they would have won the division today.
I think that's probably why they fired him, because the Panthers made it. The Panthers. That means, had you not bullshitted your way around all this time, you know what I'm saying? You duped us with beating the Bills. You didn't do diddly squat after that, which is so disappointing that the Bills lost to these guys in the first place. But anyway,
that's the other thing too. The Bills would have a much different path right now had they won that game, or had they beaten Miami. I still can't get over that. You would have had a more optimal path.
Come on. By the way, shout out to Laura for putting that out there. And then now, poor guy got fired. So, I mean, this is the name of the game. It's a results-driven business, and you got to get results. And that's why at the beginning of the year, I was like, man, if McDermott doesn't get it done, he's got to go. But my viewpoints have changed since then. I still put a lot of pressure on McDermott. But, I mean, you see what's put out there. You see the offense. You see what we have on there. There's a guy that's putting this team together. And we just I don't know if we have all the right pieces, but we do have the right quarterback. And if the quarterback does what he needs to do, he can take us all the way. But you know what, though? I will say this. We are gonna stay on that positive end, saying we are the most dangerous team going to this playoffs. This 6 seed is a dangerous 6 seed. Romo said it earlier today. He was talking about all these teams that we should be afraid of, and he's like, "Yo, y'all better." You guys don't see it, but Buffalo's out there. That's a team that I trust, and I trust Josh Allen, and I trust that run game. So I trust everything about that team. So listen, these Bills can sneak up on y'all and all of a sudden hang 40 on y'all and be like, yo, 6 seed what? Who's next? That's the way I want to look at it that way. Am I nervous as F? Hell yeah, I'm nervous as F. But I got to have it on that positive side to make this thing happen, because golly, now that the regular season's over, I'm all like, my hands are sweaty and shit. So I'm like, we got to get this. We got to get this, man. Everybody's got to get their heads on their shoulders and get it right. Every football thrown your way, you better catch that shit. Keon Coleman dropping that easy ball in the middle of the field. Come on, man. Then he makes up for it with a tougher catch on the floor. Can't make it up. Can't make this up, man. So hopefully we rested the right guys. They got everything they needed out of this game. They got the cries out. They walked around and did a farewell walk around the stadium. They got that out of their way. Now it's business, because now you're not coming back to that stadium. You ain't coming back. You're going straight.
Unless the Chargers go on a run of a lifetime.
Unless the Chargers go on a run, and that's very possible as well. That's absolutely very possible. This NFL is bro. This is the NFL. This is the NFL for you. You just don't know. You can't make anything up. You just gotta go with it. And my goodness, imagine if we could get Ed Oliver back. Right? It's not going to happen anytime soon. It's probably going to happen later if we can really push it. Imagine getting that brother back. And if Mike Hoyt, you know what I'm saying? If we didn't get rid of, oh man, the things that happened to us. But you know what? You got to pull through and go forward and see what we can get. See what we can get. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The Bills, the 6 seed, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars at the 3 seed with a damn good run defense. So we gotta figure out. And here's a little tidbit for you, my man. Darnell Savage was once on the Jacksonville Jaguars. You better sit that brother in a room, interrogate him, and say, what do you recall? Give it to us all. Lay it down right now, because we need everything we need from this. Because Darnell Savage was on that roster earlier this year until he was released, and now he's on our squad. So you better start singing like a pelican, my G. Get in there and start talking. Get to talking.
Speaking of talking, let's talk about these super chats we have waiting for us here on the BF postgame show. We got 2 new Bing Squad members in Rico. You know I'm right there.
Let's go, baby.
DJ Bills becoming a YouTube member, as is Michael Warfield. Appreciate you guys for joining the Bing Squad. Can't wait to have you along for the ride in these upcoming playoffs.
I'm going to need a little more enthusiasm in that bell ring. There it is. That's what I was looking for. I know you're not trying to wake the baby up.
I know. I was trying to be cautious, but you asked, I had to deliver. Real Dan Echo, fan since 1990, attending games since 2002. Farewell to Rich Ralph Stadium. Red helmets always. Should wear them en route to our Super Bowl. Not scared of Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Axl Rose. Bring it. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no excuses. Dan is ready. Dan likes the matchup. Depends on what version of Trevor Lawrence you're going to get. I mean, are we going to get the version of Trevor Lawrence that throws the ball into harm's way and Bills take advantage of that, or is he going to play clean? Liam Cohen is getting the best version of Trevor Lawrence we've seen.
Yes,
that's what's scary. I don't know if we can look at Trevor Lawrence the same. That hire has single-handedly altered how you view the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it is still their first postseason game here as a duo, so we'll see what that ends up looking like. Our main man, Richie Fresh. I'd rather play the Jags and not the Pats. Don't forget, Bills fans will travel to Duval. My prediction is 50% Bills fans, easy, go Bills. That's a bold statement. I feel like these Jags have been waiting for this, Richie. I mean, the Jags, home playoff game, after as bad as they've been in recent years at times, I don't know, 50%. That for a playoff game, it's a bold take. Bills fans will be there, certainly. But I got to imagine, man, Jacksonville fans got to be fired up right now. They just had the best season they've had in a very, very long time.
They're probably like, bring on the Bills. And they're probably thinking, if we're gonna show these guys that we're for real in the playoffs, we got to take down the big bad Bills, that the darling Bills that the media loves so much, that we're glazing these Bills, right? So that's exactly, if I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan and I'm Duval, I'm all about, bring me the Bills. But I'm sure there's some of them like, golly, we got to take on the Bills. I'm sure there's some of them that are feeling that way as well. So this will be an interesting one to boot, man, on the road. Here's the one thing I do like, though. The Bills going on the road, but in not adverse weather. They're going to be playing in nice, good weather. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's something that we will need for those that are banged up. A little bit of heat, right? Loosen the muscles up and get these boys going. I think I might be dangerous for Jacksonville Jaguars. You got a team that's coming in, pissed off a little bit, ready to go and banged up. They need to be a little warmth, a little sunshine on them. So hopefully that works into our advantage. That's for sure.
They say the mark of a good deal is both parties walk away from the deal not feeling like they got the best deal. I feel like if you have both fan bases, and I'm talking about the honest members of each fan base. I think if you were to ask the honest members of each fan base, I think both look at this game and feel a bit uneasy. And I feel like that's going to show you that this is a pretty damn good matchup. I think this could be the best matchup in the AFC on wildcard weekend. The Lead Robster, a.k.a. Money Mitch.
Money Mitch.
Speaking of Money Mitch is saying Money Mitch Trubisky is the greatest quarterback of all time. Only in front of slinging Sam Darnold. Mitch gave us some gangrene barbecue with a little sweet baby Ray. Nicely done, Mitch. Thanks to the Ralph for all the memories. Thanks to Bot and Rico for what you do. And a thanks to you, Money Mitch, as always, for showing love, showing support. And hey, look at that Money Mitch, Sweet Baby Ray duo today.
That worked out well.
I mean, they were balling. They were balling out. Baby. Gabe Davis balling out. And you want to know what I love to see? And it was a little too much for me. I wanted him to take him out sooner, but Dalton Kincaid, going to need a lot of that. Going to need a lot of that next week.
Listen, I'm looking forward to see what receiver combination to go with next week, because I don't know, today it felt like today maybe it could have been I guess a tryout. Who's gonna get it between Keon and Gabe? Gabe looked good, man. Gabe looked good, so who knows? We'll see. But seeing Kincaid out there,
playoff Gabe, I feel like you got to give him a crack. That man has been nuclear in the postseason for Buffalo.
Listen, you got no choice. We'll see how it all shakes out at the end, man. We got to make it work.
No doubt about it. Tyler, our main man, showing some love. Appreciate you, Tyler, for stopping by. We got Josh Richardson saying, what up, fellas? The Jags haven't played a quarterback like Allen. The Bills' defense will show up next week, and Cook will have 125 yards rushing. J.A. is going to ball out. Bold statement, Rico, from Josh, who thinks James Cook is going to put that number one overall run defense to the test. $1.25 from James Cook, the Bills are winning. I'll tell you that right now. The Bills are losing this game if James Cook's sitting at 70 to 80 yards rushing. That's how I see it.
If he's over 100,
they're winning.
Just know that the Bills are doing good things, because that means we are bleeding the clock. We're holding onto that football, and we're just slicing and dicing. So this is what we do want. James over 100, chef's kiss.
One thing to note here, if the Bills have scored more than 20 points in a game this season, they have won. That is going to be the mark of demarcation in the playoffs. And obviously that's going to go without saying. If you go into the postseason and score sub 20, you're likely going to lose, because you're playing a team that more than likely is capable of scoring more than 20. It's the postseason. But if the Bills do score more than 20, they do not lose. One of the correlations to being able to score plus 20, James Cook. So just because this is where, Joe Brady, I'm looking at you. You don't look at this number one defense and think, his number one run defense and think we got to go completely off script here.
Right.
Find ways to get creative. If that's getting James Cook the ball in the pass game, so be it. And Dalton Kincaid, too, that needs to be an emphasis. Because to your point, their pass defense isn't great. If they come out and get a couple going to, obviously they're going to have Shakir with a couple of his bubbles there. So if you have those working, and then you can get Kincaid a couple of passes, then you start to see the run game open up a bit. But interested to see how Joe Brady attacks that defense. Dog coming in. Love you guys, Rico and Bot. Happy New Year, and a Happy New Year to you as well, dog. He's saying, we packing everybody up. F the Jag, says dog. We winning because we finally playing in warm weather. Watch it be like, 50 and just pouring rain. I hope it's decent weather. I got to look at the schedule there. Dog saying it's war, or the forecast schedule. It's war, and this is playoff Josh. Straight to the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Man, confidence is high. I'm not seeing, a ton of, not that you shouldn't be confident, but I don't know where the overconfidence is coming from. I'll just say that. Not saying you are overconfident, dog. I think you're amped up.
Maybe he's just excited. I think it's more excitement than overconfidence. He's excited. He's excited.
You're dead on. I'm just saying to those who might look at this and think it's a lock, I don't know where that's coming from.
And here's the crazy part. Let's just say the Bills go out and do what we believe that they can do. You know, there's going to be people that come back, and you guys thought you guys were all scared, and you Bot and Rico. Come on, guys. Let's cut it out.
Yes, I am scared, folks. I am a Buffalo Bills fan. I have no reason to not be scared. I never understood that tape. You're scared. Yes, they've lost every time they've had the chance.
Never a doubt. Well, hold on, guys. Relax. It's okay to be a little shook. Right, we're going up against a team that's won 13 games.
If you're a Bills fan and you're not scared, you're lying, and that is, I'm sorry, I hate to burst everyone's bubble that thinks otherwise. You have no reason to not be nervous. They have lost every single time they've been given the opportunity to make you feel the opposite of what I'm talking about. I love optimism, I truly do, because I wish I had more of it. Believe me, but the reason I don't is because of real factors lived through. And those things that I've lived through have culminated into the feelings I have right now. You don't lose games the way Buffalo has lost throughout my lifetime, and even worse before my lifetime, and have the utmost confidence that in one swing of the bat, it's going to end. Now, the reason we keep holding on hope is because we do hope that one day it does come to the end. And maybe that is this year. The Bills fan base wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for one word. Maybe. Because maybe this is the time. But up until this time, you've been given no reason not to be terrified. And I am terrified. And I will remain terrified all the way until whatever ghosts
until we get it done
are eliminated, Rico.
Until we get it done. Listen,
by the way.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with Bot right now, man. Listen, there's no need to go in confidently. You have to have a little sense of all right, because and if you're keeping it a buck, we haven't been a flawless team all year. So how can we have the utmost confidence going into the playoffs, knowing that we don't have a kicker right now? We have no idea who's going to be kicking the ball. We just lost our first round draft pick in a corner that gives us the speed. We're about to go up against Parker Washington. We're about to go against Brian Thomas Jr. So they got some firepower on that team. They got Braxton Strange as a great tight end in this game. So we already have our challenges defending the tight ends and in the middle of the defense. So, hey, calmate, folks. It's okay to have a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, holding back a little bit. You know what I mean? Our excitement. But if we win, you know we're going to be partying. You know we're going to be feeling good. You know we're going to be dancing. You feel me? So, listen, man, it's okay to kind of, be on pins and needles for now. It's just okay. It's all right. You're going to be all right.
Well, Richie's not nervous. Richie's never nervous. It's been Santa Clara for Richie all the way since the last season ended. And Richie's saying, I'm not nervous. Chiefs were arguably the ones in the way. Think about it. Do the Bills do anything easy? No. That's why they pulling the rabbit out of the hat. Unfortunately, Richie, to your point, the rabbit has never come out of the hat. The rabbit has always been in the hat. I've been watching this magic show for 28 years, and I've been waiting for the rabbit to come out of the hat. And, man, we've been close. It's a hell of a magic show. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's twists and turns. There's smoke, and there's flames. I mean, I've gone and seen Chris Angel in person, or was it David Blaine, one of the two? I forgot, in Vegas. The Bills are a better magic show, and that's no slight to those two wonderful magicians. It's because I've never seen the trick be revealed. I'm waiting for the trick to be revealed. And we'll see if this is the year, Rico. We'll see if this is the year.
Listen, wow me, Bills fans. Wow me, Bills. That's what I want.
No doubt about it. We got our main man, Led Robster, coming back, and he's saying, I don't like the Jacks matchup. By the way, Michigan sucks. Yeah, well, we can agree on that, Led. And listen, I don't love the matchup either, but I don't particularly love any of these matchups right now. The reason I didn't love this one a bit more than the others is because I just think Jacksonville is the most well-rounded AFC team. I genuinely believe that. Then there's other areas to be exposed with the other teams. This is why I do think if the Bills get past Denver, or they do get past Jacksonville, Rico, I think the door is open. I really do. I think this is the kind of the ticket into what I feel to be their best chance to go the distance.
This is going to be one of those situations where, folks, we just let the week play out. There's going to be so much information that comes out. We need to find out if there's just so much. But let's be very clear. This is a matchup based league, and there are teams that we match up very well against. There are teams that give us some fits and challenges. Right now, you got a team that is red hot right now, and when the Bills are red hot, we feel as confident as ever. Right now, we just went on a run, a bit of a run, a 4-game win streak. Then we lost to the Eagles. That kind of bring us back a little bit. And now we're back on the up and up. So let's just, one day at a time. Let's take the McDermott approach, right? One day at a time, one win at a time, and let's keep it rolling. That's the way I look at it, man.
No doubt about it. Dog is saying, but here's how we feeling. Well, me at least. You ain't Mahomes, Elite Eight, or Cool Joe Burrow. Lawrence, take a hike. Jags getting packed up in their house. Dog's feeling confident.
Dog feels good right now, boy.
So is Richie. He's got the Bills winning 31-20. See you in Duval. Oh, man, I can't wait.
Anybody going to this game? Anybody going to this game on the road? Bot, you going?
I am not going. I will be locked in here, sweating, pacing, doing my knee thing where I get down, and I'm getting ready for the snap. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of that. The Baltimore Ravens are doing a whole lot of running all over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers just ran a 4th down, and they ran a 4th and 1 sneak, Rico, with Cam Hayward. This team's cooked. This is over. I don't know. I have no idea. But we do want to go.
What is he? 38 years old, 39 years old? What is he doing?
I have no idea. What you could be doing, by the way, is getting in on the action these upcoming wildcard playoffs with our friends over at Sleeper. The link's in the description below. You click that. You sign up for an account, and once you do, you immediately get a free $20 entry. You can use that on all of the wild card games, which why wouldn't you? It's the best football weekend of the year. You can also use it on NBA, NHL, you name it. It's all on Sleeper. Once you use your free $20 entry, use the promo code on your screen, BF25, and that will get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below. Rico, we want to go watch who wins the AFC North. But before we do, what do you got for the folks before we sign off?
Folks, listen, enjoy this game. It really doesn't matter. I mean, we would have been watching it to find out if we were going to face these guys or not, but it's not the case. So, you know what I'm saying? So what's going to happen here is we're going to enjoy this game, and we're going to focus on these Jacksonville Jaguars. I want you guys to tune into us this week. You're going to have your guy Bot tomorrow, and he'll be, recapping and talk about this game and the things that information that does come out. And we're also going to go and see myself on Tuesday. I'm going to bring my guy Carl Jones on. We'll get it in. We'll get back at it on Wednesday with the injury report, and then Friday comes along, and then boom. Game time on Sunday. Have they announced it for afternoon? Are we 1 o'clock?
I'm as nervous for that as I am anything. We don't know the schedule yet.
Oh gosh. Well, here's one thing.
Give me that Monday.
Oh, you want the Monday?
Yes.
Well, let me do this, because we always do this. We don't leave without seeing what the Buffalo Bills, if what Coach McDermott had to say in the locker room. Let's see if we can find a little something. I'm sure it was all hugs and kumbaya. We got a minute worth of footage. So let me share my screen to you fine folks. And let's see what Mr. McDermott had to say to the boys in the locker room. What do you think? Do you think he said something super heartfelt, or was it business as usual? What do you think?
I'm intrigued. I don't know. Let's see.
All right, let's find out. Let's find out together. Here we go. Did I share my page here? Here we go. Let's get this sucker cracking. Let's see what McDermott had to say, folks.
Hey, that's a great job, man. Great job. Great team win. Real proud of the way you guys handled this week. I mean that. Staff, having you guys prepared on your own, man. That's a great win. And I'm telling you what, guys who hadn't played a whole lot came out here tonight and impressed, man. You really did. You took advantage of an opportunity. And what a special night. What a great environment. It only happens in Buffalo right here, right? What a great environment. Fans, the whole game with us. And you guys gave me something to cheer about, man. Real special place to play one more time in the stadium.
Here we go. Hey, it's go time, fellas. Go time. Let's go. Let's go, man. I love us.
Yeah, I do too, Josh.
There it is.
McDermott was a little subdued. Maybe it was hitting him. Maybe he was a little emotional there. Listen, you know what though? I think they know right now that game was nothing. They know they got to lock in right now.
That's what it is. That game was nothing. That's the way I look at it. And I think he's like, yo, this game is done with.
Yeah.
Now it's business. It's business for me.
It's
business for you.
It's time.
It's business for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's lock in. F this game. It was great. You got all your feels out. You guys got to kiss the fans and hugs and all that stuff. Now it's business. This is why we get paid. Let's go handle business. And guess what? Money Mitch comes in and says Rodgers ain't feeling too sanguine right now.
He ain't feeling too sanguine because it's the denouement. Listen, it's over. Richie's saying he'll see us in the divisional. We also have Spanish Jose saying Joe Brady has to bring out the inner Marshawn Falk. Wow. So a
like
combination of Marshall Falk and Marshawn Lynch, perhaps?
I like that. Bring that to me.
Well, listen, you get that. I think we get a trophy here. You're going to get us throughout the week, by the way. We kept this one light because we don't want to dive too far into this matchup. Wild card round. I mean, we want to treat this with the respect it deserves. This is single elimination football, folks. We'll be alongside of you all week long, getting you ready for Bills Jags. I'll be with you Monday. Rico with you Tuesday. Injury report Wednesday. Rico and Bot Friday. And wild card round this weekend. We'll find out when that game will be tonight, as we also find out who wins the AFC North. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for us on the post-game show. Bills finish off the 2025 regular season with a bang, send off the Ralph in style, and, of course, lock in the 6th seed to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thanks so much to everybody for tuning in on the post-game. Nearly 2,000 of you. We appreciate and love each and every one of you. For Rico, I'm Bot. We'll see you later on in the week. Much love, and go Bills.
Go Bills.